We're at the Australian High Commission here in the National Capital, and joining me right now are not one but two Aussie supporters. One, of course, is somebody popular who you know already. Second, of course, is the Deputy High Commissioner here in India, Sarah Story, joining us at the moment. Sarah, when you look at the rivalry between the two nations, it's great, amazing. In fact, when you see the two nations coming together in London for the Test Championship final, how do you see this whole rivalry between the two countries?
Well, I mean, it's such an interesting game because these are the top tier teams in the world. And we've given everyone a really close game and so much for cricket fans to look at. So it's just excellent to see that rivalry play out because it's underpinned by so much respect. And it's such a great game. The ball is bouncing around everywhere right now. Lavashane's just going to bat. And it's a really interesting match.
When you speak of the two nations and what cricket means to the two nations, we've seen it over the years that it brings the two nations together. But this whole rivalry, the way it's grown over the last few decades, let's say, how do you see this translating into bilateral relations, let's say, between the two countries?
Well, that's a great question because the rivalry is there on the field and it is so fierce. But even on the field, you see so much friendship. So I love to see just how much respect is there between the players. And we really saw that when we were privileged enough to host the Australian team back in March here in the High Commission grounds. They had only the highest admiration and respect for the Indian team. And at that time, they were being slaughtered. They had a really bad first test in Nagpur and, it didn't go so well. And then there was a little bit of a closer match, but in the end, India took it easily.
Well, we know that, India is a cricket-frenzy nation. You here at the Australian High Commission, obviously, and you see these mavericks out here. We know India is a cricket-loving nation.
Yes.
But what is it to be like, amongst all these cricket-loving people?
Oh, well, it's just terrific because everyone has that fierceness of really watching the game. I have some colleagues who've taken the day off in order to watch it today. That's how obsessive we are with it. So Australians really are sports mad, and we've got the green and gold decade coming up with the Commonwealth Games. It's going to be so interesting with the FIFA World Cup. For women, it's going to be an amazing decade. And, every time Australia and India meet, we really notice it. Just this week, your archery team completely slaughtered us in Singapore, and we wish them all the best against China coming up.
Very quickly though, before I let you go, I want you to name the one Indian player who's playing right now at the Oval who you really admire and tell us what the reason would be.
Well, it would have to be Virat Kohli because, he's talked before this match about the level of rivalry that exists between our teams. And he's just such a natural leader. So many people look up to him. And he embodies the ambition, the talent, and the affection that people have for him is extraordinary. It's something to behold. So he is, without doubt, hands down, my favorite player. So that's an easy question for me.
But here's the trick one. India definitely winning this, right?
I think it's a little too early to tell. So no one would ever rule out India. Any Australian cricketer or cricket fan that were looking to rule out India early, they would be a fool because we know that India fights very hard. And we're really seeing some of that T20 style come out with, some of that aggression. And I think that there's a lot that we're going to see to come yet.
Absolutely. Two great days of cricket left at the Oval. We'll have to wait and see how the match pans out. For now, this is Harshit Ahuja with Anurag Jain for India Today.